welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I am your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today by Ouma Amadou, who is the cinema programmer, and Gabby Galarza, who is the education programmer at Ragtag Film Society. How are you?
It's great to be
Doing
here.
well. We're excited.
Oh, I'm excited to have you here. Ragtag always has such amazing things coming up. So, Ouma, just jump in. Tell us what's happening at Ragtag.
Yeah, so right now happening at Ragtag, we're having a little mini-series around Valentine's Day dedicated to love triangles on screen.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, have a little edge for Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. So tonight we're going to have My Best Friend's Wedding starring Julia Roberts. And then on Saturday morning, we're going to have a film from the 1930s called Design for Living. It's kind of an early proto-feminist film where one woman is in love with two men and she can't choose. And she decides not to choose between the two of them.
Okay.
So
she just said, I'm
living her best life.
Yeah, she is living her best life. Okay. Okay, I like that. Okay, and what else? Tell me what else is happening. I know, leading into March.
We got a lot.
Busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So at the end, True False Film Festival is coming up. The dates are February 27th through March 2nd. And we're kind of just in full go mode of prepping everything, getting all of that ready. We've got a couple really exciting kind of announcements. The film lineup is out, so you can go and check that at truefalse.org. But we also have picked all of the things for our True Life Vision and the True Life Fund and kind of all of those things. So definitely keep a lookout for those. Try and get to them if you can, if you have a pass or if you're getting tickets. But we also are still looking for volunteers, I think, by this. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can definitely check and sign up there. But definitely exciting stuff going on. We also have Show Me True False, which Ouma can talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, Show Me True False is our program that extends out from our Show Me series that we have at the cinema, where we work with community organizations to put on free monthly series that are centered around the community and theme focus. So at the festival, one of the films that's been programmed is highlighted for community focus. This year's will be How to Build a Library, which follows two women in Nairobi who attempt to reclaim an old colonial institution and turn it into a library and decolonize it. This screening takes place Saturday of the fest at Missouri Theater, and it has reduced ticket pricing at $6 to make it accessible to the community. And afterwards, I'll be in conversation with the director where we'll talk about questions related to the community, the role of art, and what it means to kind of decolonize old institutions.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. So I'm going to go back to something you said about looking for volunteers for True False. People, what kinds of things do your volunteers do? I know there's all kinds.
Yes. So there's so many teams that we have that are kind of always looking. If you're wanting to just do kind of general help, you can be an errand runner, kind of running from venue to venue. But we have our merch team, our sustainability team, I know is looking for people. And then I run the education department. So we've got a few, but if you're still looking for that, we would love to have you come help out at camp, True False, or with events and that kind of stuff. So there's really something for everyone. I know that there's drivers that we need, or merch is always looking for people, box office. So there's a lot of different avenues that people can use to get involved with True False. And then you also get the perks of being a volunteer, which is a nice way to help out the fest, but then still get to attend some of the stuff if you can't afford the passes or have time to get into see films and that kind of a deal. It's a nice way to get around that. And then we also allow perks for volunteers at Ragtag Cinema throughout the year post-fest. We have a couple screenings that are free for volunteers, and so we try and reciprocate the time and energy that they give us back into these small little perks that we can give them.
Yeah, it takes a lot of volunteers.
It takes a lot.
It's a village for sure. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of, I think it's always funny with big events like this, a lot of people see kind of the event and are like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun, but you don't see everyone kind of come together and collaborate on something to make it work.
Yeah, it is. I will tell you that as somebody who moved to Columbia and kept hearing about True False, and had no idea what was happening. So if we might have somebody listening or watching who really, maybe they've seen the stickers, maybe they've seen the signs, but they just have no idea.
Yeah.
Just give us a very quick overview.
Yeah, so True False is a film festival that's been taking place for almost over 20 years now, and it is a nonfiction film festival focused on documentary filmmaking and bringing the best and finest of documentary film to Columbia. This has now become a very revered festival. The directors, as many directors come as possible to have the chance to talk about their films after Q&A, but there's also music before films, which has been always an integral part, where there's musicians from around the world who come to perform before the films, and then also add different events to go to. And then there's also, we have visiting artists who do art installations around town, and those are always free to me. We have their closed down part of 9th Street in downtown Columbia, and you can just have a chance to kind of walk through and be able to see the art and engage with what's there. And then, of course, there's also 2 parties that are available, and those are things that comes with perks with passes, which passes are still on sale for the fest, and there's different entry points, whether you're just interested into films, if you're interested into films and some of those more perks about the parties, jubilees, those kinds of things, you have the opportunity to engage in a lot of different ways, just kind of even get a taste of the festival.
Yeah, it is quite an undertaking.
We definitely take over like downtown and kind of
100.
change the city a little bit. It's really awesome to see how accepting the community is of this. We kind of like to consider it like an amalgamation of all the things art. Because we really, even though we are labeled as a documentary film festival, we like to just kind of like highlight all aspects of it, because film, I feel like, is kind of an all-encompassing form of art. So to highlight these other kind of parts is really fun. And it's always amazing, like Ouma was saying, the way that we kind of bring people into Columbia from all across the globe.
Yeah.
And so it's really fun to have this in our backyard and like get to play around with it. And, you know, like she was saying, there are free aspects. So if you can't like see a film, and you can buy films like day of, kind of a deal from the box office. So you don't have to have a pass. You can kind of pick and choose your experience. And even if there's like a stay up late pass. So if you just want to go to parties and music and like the later films, like there's that option. So it really is accessible, and it's really fun to kind of change, I feel like, the narrative around documentary films. I feel like a lot of people, I know my personal experience before I got involved with True False was I thought that they were kind of like not my favorite, a little dull, and sometimes boring, but the programming team for True False always does a really great job of bringing really unique stories.
Well, we listen, we love True False.
Yeah.
We love Ragtag. Thank you for what you bring to this community. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.